USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Whatever the occasion, effortless elegance is right this way. Because Hilton brings you new ways to stay courtesy of the Nomad London. And it doesn't stop at award-winning dining in a space draped in velvet and illuminated by vintage chandeliers. No, this day goes beyond with unparalleled personalized service and attentive hospitality. Oh, and did we mention the Nomad London can be booked using your Hilton Honors points at Hilton.com? Hilton, for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Fifth Quarter Studios in Madison, Wisconsin, you're listening to Coach Unplugged. And now, your host, Steve Collins.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Coach Unplugged episode. I have no idea. But before we get going, I'd like to big a shout out to our two sponsors. First of all, Dr. Dish, the #1 shooting machine on the market. Go over, mention Coach Unplugged. They'll give you $450 off, and they'll take really good care of you. Before I forget too, if you like this podcast, go over and check out some of our other ones like High School Hoops, Coaching Youth Hoops, 5-Minute Basketball Coaching Podcast. If you're looking for that one defense that will work against anybody, the Funnel Down Defense Podcast, the Rule of 3 offense that will work at any level, go over and check those out. Leave a 5-star review. We would like those. But also go over and check out Teachhoops.com. For coaches who want to get better. It's the one-stop shop for basketball coaches. It's resources. It's everything. It's what I would have wanted as a 27-year-old basketball coach. It's a roadmap to success on and off the court. And we offer a 14-day free trial because I'm a coach. I understand how it goes. Go over and check it out. Kick the tires around, see if it's for you. And if it's not, we'll part our ways and we'll say thank you and move on. But I guarantee you're going to love all the material. And the material we're always putting in teachhoops.com. But anyway, have a great day, everybody. And let's head off the podcast. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Coach. You got some questions?
Just got done. I coach middle school, 7th, 8th grade boys.
Okay.
Just got done the season.
Okay.
Struggled on offense. Played really good defense, man defense. Just struggled running any kind of conceptual offense.
Okay. And so let me ask a couple questions. Was it a very structured offense, or was it not a freewheeling, but was it like a motion offense? What did you run?
It was motion offense. I gave them 2 options. Okay. In every scenario. And we, and then we went to, I put into I was watching one of your things and put in a swing offense.
Okay.
More of a structured offense. That worked a little bit better.
Okay. And what was the problem with the offense? Was it the ability to shoot? Was it the ability to create? Was it the ability to get space?
Ability to create. Okay.
That's a hard thing for an offense to fix.
Agreed.
So are you going to have the same group next year?
No. I'll have two 7th graders were on my team last year.
Okay.
So I'll have the 7th graders. We'll move up to 8th grade. I'll have them.
Okay. And so what do you think the solution is? I got a couple ideas, but what do you think the solution is?
I was going to go maybe more to a structured man where they don't have options.
Yeah. For an offense, you mean? Yeah, I think I would do that. I would. Is there a way that you can work with them in the off season?
Well, we have a spring season, which is now delayed.
Right. Obviously, we're all
and
delayed,
then we'll do a summer. So definitely yes.
Okay. So I would, and how do you break up practice?
Practice is mainly skills.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do earlier on. I'll do defense. That's my strength. So we
Okay.
do a lot of defense and skills, and then 15, 20 minutes on offense. And
Yeah.
maybe I thought that was my problem.
Yeah. So defense maybe especially in the spring when spring starts up again, and in the summer I'd spend less on that. I think a swing or something like that, or a flex kind of offense is fine. They're still going to have to be able to create some on their own. So I would do. I mean, do you do a lot of small-sided games of practice and stuff? A lot of one-on-one, two-on-two things.
We do a lot of one-on-one, and then we do a lot of the games, but they're probably 5-on-5 games.
Okay, yeah. So what I would try to do is really start thinking about how you could break it down into small little pieces for them. Because the one-on-one is great, but then how are they working two-on-two? The game is really one-on-one, two-on-two, and three-on-three. All the other stuff,
Yep.
like the triangle offense. It's like really there's three guys. The most they're ever really kind of being active at one point is three. The other two are kind of just keeping them so they can't get to the pack line or the help line or whatever you're running defensively. So
Yep.
I would spend a lot of time on those kind of reads. Like, how are you going to read a ball screen? How are you going to read it? Those kind of things, and attacking the basket. How many days a week do you get them?
We get 5 to 6.
Okay. So then you got time to build that skill set up, I think.
Yep.
So that's what I would do. I would spend less on the D, especially if you've got a nice foundation as far as the man goes. And you feel like you can change up a little bit. I would spend all my time on the ability to score.
Okay.
Can they shoot?
Couple of them can.
Okay.
And that's where, it gets stagnant and they just keep on shooting.
Yes. So red light, yellow light, green light kind of thing with them. Like,
Gotcha.
I think you got to, and I know at this age is a little different, so it's easy to just make it like you've got the green light, you've got the red light, you've got what is in it? And to be honest with you, especially at that age, they want to know, like, your range is here. Your range is here. Here's when you can shoot. Here's when you can't. That will help your offense a lot. I have noticed that in my career, that just kind of knowing I'm not boxing them in, but and I had a unique team this year where a lot of guys had a lot of different options as far as shooting goes. But I think you have to kind of, especially at that age, like, you don't say these are my two scorers, but they have more of a green light. Here's where you can score. Maybe it's offensive rebounds, maybe it's close to the basket, maybe it's going to the free throw line. If you do that, that's the stats teacher in me. Your percentages will go up.
Gotcha.
Because you'll have the better. You don't want to say don't ever shoot and you always shoot kind of thing, but in a subtle way, you're kind of doing that with the red, yellow, and green. That's the basic way. Older kids, I like to actually do numbering systems. Like there's a 10 shot, it's a layup in an uncontested gym kind of thing. One is one pass and you shoot it and there's three guys on you kind of thing. So there could be a scale when they get a little bit older, but at that age, I like that easy, red light, green light,
Okay.
And that will help. I'm telling you, no matter what you run, if you run motion or read and react or, dribble drive or swing, whatever you run offensively, if you do that, your percentages will increase about 10% because you've got the right people shooting, to be honest.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, I want Giannis shooting a lot for the Bucks.
Gotcha. Yep.
Yeah, he's the best player in the world, in my opinion. So he should take the most shots on this team. So that's, you want to do it without really saying it, but they'll get the gist of it if you kind of give them different levels of their ability to shoot.
And we talk with like what you do in practice. You decide what your range is and.
Right. Yeah. And this is,
now you get comfortable in practice and then that's what you should be doing in a game. You shouldn't be doing stuff.
Yeah. And then you should be able to show me you can do that. Like, we have you better be able to come in an empty gym and hit, 6 out of 10 threes consistently if you want that kind of, because you're going to drop 15, 20% in a game. Okay. I'll let you shoot that, but then you come in and show me you can. I have no problem. I'm not telling you can't shoot it, but let me see. Kind of thing, and And we didn't have to do that as much this year with my team this year, but in past years I've had to say no. But if you think you can, let's go in the gym. Come on, let's take 53s and let's see with no one on you.
That's cool.
Yeah, and I think they feel better about it. And if they don't do it, it's like, well, let's try in a couple days. You practice, we'll come back in a couple days. Maybe just had an off day today. But until then, no. You know. Coach down there, Andrew, how are you?
Hey, Coach, I'm doing pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. Remind me where you're from again?
Well, I'm actually moving. I'm in the process of moving to the Anniston, Alabama area.
Okay.
But I'm from Noonan, Georgia, which is just about 30 minutes south of Atlanta.
Yep. Okay, south of Atlanta. Okay. Well, has the bug hit you guys yet?
So, yeah, actually, every school, I believe, in the state of Georgia, every school district has gone ahead and canceled school for the next 2 weeks.
No.
They shut down.
Yeah, we leave.
Shut down everything.
Yeah, we're done. We're done. Tuesday's my last day, and then we don't go back in March. So I told my wife, goes, "What are you going to do?" I go, "I'm going to be in my office working on Teachhoops, man. There's going to be so much freaking content coming out because I got to do something. Like I'm going to just crazy because
it's been crazy because I got a couple of buddies of mine who coach AAU, and the AAU program is already for the state of Georgia has already said no practices, no games, no tournaments.
It's the
stats. Like
that, if you've seen it, type in flatten the curve. Basically, what they're trying to do is just distribute this illness over longer stretches. So, what they're doing is the right thing. But did you guys get to crown state champions in your state?
So GHSA, GISA, and GAPS, which is the organization that my team plays under, we all crowned state champions. So
okay, yeah, our girls got to the arena and they called it. They were there.
Oh.
They were all there, and the boys played in empty gyms in the Sweet 16, got to the Elite 8, and then they called it.
Wow.
So, no, we don't have state champions this year. It's crazy. I was in Milwaukee on a radio show today for like 2 hours with my son talking about it. It was crazy. It's like, I don't know what's worse, like losing when we did in the the round of 32, or making it to the Elite 8 and then saying nope, done.
Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for the kids. Obviously, especially the seniors who are on a winning team who have a chance. Like I feel bad for them, and I get it. I studied health science and epidemiology in college.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I mean, there's no question we got to do this. I went out and picked up dinner tonight, and it looks like nothing's. It's like, are you people serious? Like
that's crazy. We went to the grocery store earlier to get stuff for dinner as well, and like went down the pasta aisle. There's like very little pasta on the shelves. I was like, man, these people are really freaking out. I mean. I get the need for it, but
I think what's going to happen is like Italy and France went on that lockdown today. I think we're about a week and a half, and they're just going to say, "Stay home."
Yeah. I kind of hope not, because
I hope not too. Netflix is going to like it. Netflix will love it.
Netflix, Hulu, all that. But
Hulu.
I hope not. I have a job outside of basketball, so it's hard for me to want to say, I want to stay home. But
I know it's crazy.
But yeah, man, actually, I think you and I have been emailing back and forth about my situation. I told you I was going to be taking over a program who had not been winning. Well, I went in for my last interview with them. Basically, I was going to meet the team and meet the parents and sign my contract. And it turned out that their beliefs, my beliefs, and how the program should be run were two different things, and they weren't backing off.
Okay.
And so I just decided it wasn't a good fit for me.
You went with your gut. That's probably a good decision.
Yeah. If the administration and myself can't agree on how a program should be run, then it's probably not the best for me. So
right.
But it's all right. I mean, I've still got options. As far as coaching is concerned, I can still go back to the program I've been with.
Yeah, the thing is, so I'll tell you a story. So when I started, when I got this one about 20 plus years ago, I had a list of about 20 schools in Wisconsin. I thought these will all be good fits if any of them open up, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, I wasn't gonna like you kind of know, like I haven't left my school because I found great administration, great community, great kids, support. It's like, why would you leave? Like,
Yeah.
so
And
when
that's the situation from where I was
right.
at Central Christian. It's just
Yeah.
we it's kind of funny the way that I got into the school is I was coaching AAU and youth basketball in the community, and our AAU group used the school's gym for a weekend tournament about twice a year, 3 times a year, maybe max. And I met the athletic director through that, and then just happened that my niece, who went to school there, decided she was going to play basketball in 8th grade. So jokingly, I'm sitting over at her house with her. I said, I'm going to send your athletic director and see if I can be your head coach. Just kind of as a joke.
Right.
And joke was on me because like 5 minutes after I sent him the email, he was like, yes, be at practice on Monday. And so, so I get there and he's like, look, the middle school girls, we want you to take over, do what you do. I know you can develop kids. I know you can work with kids. I've seen you. But he said, here's the thing. You've got some kids who actually play up, because in our league, you can start playing up in varsity as soon as 6th grade, as long as your athletic director, parents, and the school sign off on it. And I did. I had a stud.
Right.
I mean, this girl was playing well above her ability, or the middle school ability. So it was a challenge, but I took it on. We went 16-4. We were one win away from the district championship, which the school had never done before.
Right.
And then I was assisting with the varsity, and since then I've been with the varsity program, JV head coach this past year.
Right.
But our league is kind of funny. So we were able to have homeschoolers in our league. And so it used to be the rule, 50% of our roster more than 50% couldn't be homeschoolers. Well, they cut it down this year to 25%. Killed our entire JV program almost.
Right.
So it was kind of a struggle. We only had 6 JV games.
That's tough. That's tough to not have a carrot at the end of all the hard practices. That's hard.
It really is. And for some of those girls, I felt for them, but we got them into games non-region games, so that they could at least play.
Right.
So luckily we were able to do that. We had 4 stud seniors. I think we ended up going 28-6 this year.
You guys play a lot of games too.
Yeah.
So what's your long term? What's your long term? So you're going to keep looking for, you're willing to move? What are you looking for, another job?
Yeah, so I'm looking in the Anniston, Jacksonville area. Here in Alabama. I've been talking to a coach or an athletic director at one of the schools here. He wants me to come in, take over their junior high program, and assist their varsity boys. Says they've been struggling program. So I'm going to meet with him hopefully here in the next couple of weeks, probably after this bug crisis goes
Something
down.
dies down. Okay.
But my biggest fear is I told you, I think through email, is going in and I've been blessed to be part of a program that is just phenomenal.
Right.
And
so you basically have to go in and build culture.
Right.
So I mean, it's been a long time since I've done this, but it is I had to make some really tough decisions early in my career. I had to let some coaches go. I had to cut some kids. I had to not play some kids. I had to play some people that's parents were even part of running my youth program. I had to make some, and I was young, so I had to go in and not only make the tough decisions, I had to make it as a young head coach. But the program I took over had a win, it had 5 winning seasons in 30 years. So I figured there was nothing to lose. I had to go in and try to change culture. From the beginning. And, it was a lot of sleepless nights doing that, but in the long haul paid off. So that's what I think you have to think about. It's like, all right, do you want to go in and be another assistant? Do you want to help at the varsity? Do you want to be a head coach? Do you just want to be a youth coach and then wait for the right head job? All of those things.
And I've thought about that. And my mentor, Justin Stevens, he's a longtime listener of your podcast.
Oh, good.
Him and I sat down and he was like, look, man, he goes, without a doubt, he showed me the letter of recommendation he wrote to this athletic director for this job that I turned down. He's like, look, I know you can head coach.
Right.
He said, but let me tell you how I would do it. He said, find a fit like you found a fit here.
Yep.
Yeah, because
I'm telling you, it's like trying a glove on, man. It's like finding the perfect pair of Nikes, but they're like 9.5s and you wear 10s. You can jam your foot into it, but it's gonna be miserable. And you might even be able to walk around, you might even be able to win, but life's too short, in my opinion, that you just want to find, because when you find the right one, you'll know. It's kind of like getting married. Like when you find the right one, like,
yeah, it's been hard though, I think, here in the Anniston area, because a lot of the athletic directors want you to be a teacher.
They do. That's a hard gig. I know.
It is.
And
like if I was 24 years old again,
right,
and I could, I got out of the Army at 24 and decided to go to college and do all that.
Right.
If I was 24 again, I'd do it all over again. I'd go teaching and get a teaching degree and stuff like that. But, basketball is my passion. And I've always told Justin, if I can get in front of an athletic director, I'm going to get the job.
Right.
Because my passion comes off when I'm able to speak to somebody and,
and they know the game, and they know you love the kids and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
The hard part is, I don't want to say it's a bias. I don't want to say it's kind of like the age bias. You could be the best 22-year-old head coach ever, and you come into that thing, they're looking at you like you're a 22-year-old. It's similar to when you're not in the building. So what I've told coaches that have applied for these kind of jobs is you have to convince them that it's a non-factor. It's like, I'm going to be here all the time anyway. I'm going to stay late.
That's extremely true. Cause I'd get off work at 3:00, head over to Central. I'd beat Justin out of his classroom. I'd be in the coach's office.
Right. And that's what you say. It's like you say, hey, in the summer I can do this. You got to make a negative into a positive.
Right.
And it's like, I can do things in the summer that he can't do, that he doesn't have the availability. I can actually be here and have the rims down and the balls out. Trust me, because we get out of school at 3:37 and I have to rush down there to get practice started at 4. Well, one of my assistants is already down there, has Dr. Dish set up, the kids are already shooting, they're already stretching, it's because I got to deal with the thing that pays the bills.
Yeah. And that's what my previous head coach loved, because during, the beginning of the school year, August is when we can start doing conditioning.
Right.
For the upcoming season. So when I got off work, I'd get to the school. I'd be at the school by 3:15.
Right.
And he's athletic director. Well, we got football going on too. So he's doing athletic director, history department head, varsity girls head coach, so his plate's full. So I told him, I was like, look, you tell me what you want them to work on.
Right. And I'll do it.
I'll do the conditioning. He's like, I tell you what, you come up with the conditioning program, you get them in shape, and I'll help out with football. I was like, all right, yeah, not a problem. So, and that's easy for me because I was a student assistant at Columbus State. So it was easy for me to kind of get that all going, because that's, student assistant at Columbus State. When you're a student assistant, not a grad assistant,
right,
you're basically a manager. So
right. You're lower on the food chain. You are lower on the food chain.
Much lower. So, for me.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. I don't know if you knew this, but anyone can get the same premium wireless for $15 a month plan that I've been enjoying. It's not just for celebrities. So do like I did and have one of your assistants switch you to Mint Mobile today. I'm told it's super easy to do at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
The new McCrispy Strip is here. Dip approved by ketchup, tangy barbecue, honey mustard, Sprite, McFlurry, Big Mac sauce, double dipped in buffalo and ranch, more ranch, and creamy chili McCrispy Strip Dip. Now at McDonald's. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Like, him and I sat down. We were like, hey, look, don't rush it. Don't rush the process. Don't rush to find a job. He goes, if you have to come back to Central next year, come back to Central.
Right.
He goes,
and the thing is, that's what you don't want to, that's what I tell all these young coaches, because this is when I get busy with all these emails from people. It's like, well, I go, it's a lot harder if you take a bad job and then you don't do well and then they let you go and then to try to find the next one. It's harder.
Yeah.
It is harder. It's easier to try to go get that first one, to be honest with you, in some respects.
Yeah. So it like I said, I'm going to weigh my options. I'm going to meet with this athletic director from this other school, tell him, kind of how I run my programs, how I run my AAU, how I run JV, and just, let him see if it's going to be a good fit. If it's going to be a good fit, and I can sit down with the head coach of the varsity boys and be like, look, show me what your offense is, show me what your defense is, what's your team philosophy, what's your, what are your pillars that you build your program on, show me all this so that I can make sure that my philosophy and everything fits in with yours. Because,
right.
The adage is you want to have an assistant coach who isn't going to be a yes man.
No, so I don't know if you've heard me on my podcast, but you want basically, you want somebody that questions you all the time. You want a Yoda. You want somebody that's going to be like a mentor. And then you want somebody that's going to help you with all the administrative. If you get those three on your staff, you're set.
Right.
You don't want it. You want a no man. You want a Yoda, and you want a GA. You want somebody that's going to help you with all the administrative. Literally, you find that, you're in heaven. You're in heaven.
Yeah, and I think that's why we've been so successful at Central.
Right.
7 state championships in a row. I mean,
you don't do that by happenstance. No.
Right.
No.
Right. Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, last year we had no problem. We could platoon sub all day long and not have to worry about a game getting out of control.
Right.
This year we had 4 seniors, a junior, and 6 freshmen.
Right.
So when you took a senior out, if you had to take 2 seniors out because you were in foul trouble,
no, but those are actually the more. Trust me, like when I've coached some of my NBA guys, that's not shoot. I could pick somebody off the street to coach half those guys.
Oh yeah,
it's when you don't have all the pieces and then you win, then it's like whoa, like we actually did something here. But yeah. All right, and Jeff or Nicholas, you got any questions? I don't know if they can hear me. I don't think I muted them.
So I did have one question for you outside of everything we've talked about. When I got to the school that I'm at right now, Justin told me, he was like, look, I got my hands full with a lot of things. Some of these seniors, I asked him, that's my first question about his seniors. I was like, who's looking at them? Who's recruiting them? Are they being recruited? Because that's, for me, coming from a college to AAU and knowing how some of the recruiting stuff works, I wanted to help out.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, they're getting some looks, not enough. He goes, my plate's kind of full, so I take calls and make calls when I can. I was like, all right, not a problem. I'll take over that. I said, no problem. So, but what do you do as far as, because I found it easier for me basically to email, each program obviously I want to grade the girl and see what she's capable of.
Right.
I'm not going to send a D3 kid to a D1 school.
Right.
But my question for you is,
you're only as good as your word. You're right. Yes.
Right. And I don't want to build a bad relationship with a coach, because I want to have a pool of coaches that I can send a girl to or a guy and be like, look, here's who I've got this year. Tell me what you think. Tell me if they fit into what your program is.
Okay.
So I had that this year. I had a girl. I mean, stats wise, in our league, she is off the charts.
Okay.
So we purposefully this year scheduled some public schools, GHSA schools.
Okay.
6A, 7A, 5A schools, just so we could see what she could do against them.
See how good you were. See the bar
right.
was.
And to see how good we were.
Right.
So she did great. I mean, she put up numbers that some of your top GHSA girls would put up against some really good schools like Pebblebrook here from Georgia, who competes with your Westlakes and teams like that.
Right.
And then Alexander, who competes with Buford and stuff for state title. So putting up 20 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 5 steals, somewhere around there stats-wise, which is, for her, a girl coming out of our league, is really good. So I said, all right, I think she's D2. She could be D2. Small D2, maybe not big D2. We're not talking like national championship competing D2, but one of those lower levels. And so I started reaching out to coaches, but I didn't know how to go about it because I'd never been on this side of it. So I started sending off emails with, excuse me, I'm outside.
That's okay.
But I sent out – go inside. I sent out emails with her stats, highlights, full game tapes, because I know coaches like full game tapes.
Yep.
And then kind of a bio on her.
Okay.
And at the beginning of the season, I got some hits. Middle of the season, it died off. And then right towards the end of the season, it really picked up.
Yeah, that's part of them being busy.
Right. So, but I didn't know, like, if me sending the email off is the right way to go about it, or should it be the athlete?
No, I think it's probably better from you than the athlete, because unless the athlete calls, they get a lot of those. Trust me.
Right.
A call is even better, to be honest with you. I know it's hard to do that.
Right. Here's what I did. I took a list of all the D2s, all the NAIAs in the Southeast, and I sent an email to the head coach, assistant coach, and the GA, and then I followed it up with a phone call.
Okay.
So,
and what kind of response did you get on that?
I mean, pretty good at first, at the beginning of the season when they weren't so busy.
Right.
So turned it around. This girl was only getting some local D3 looks, and now she's got some D2 looks. She's got one D1 look who still has her on their list, pending if somebody falls off. The coach has been pretty upfront with me. He was actually at the college I was at before I was a student assistant there, so we kind of have that connection.
Okay. Yeah, it's all networking. It's all networking. And it's crazy.
Yeah, so I really just wanted to make sure I was going about it.
No, I think that's right. I think that's the right way. The thing is, if you go, the key is the relation. A lot of this stuff is built now until the start of the season too. Starting, I mean, if the AAU season or summer grassroots was starting, it would be now until the end. But that would be the step that I would look at is, what can you do now? Do you have anybody coming back? Where are you going?
I've got a girl who was a freshman who's like 5'10". I'm sending her off to elite camps and clinics and stuff like that, to some of these college coaches who I've been in contact with this year, because I want her to start getting looked at now. So
okay. Yeah, that's what I would do. I start like a Google sheet, and basically that's what I do. I just try to start a Google sheet, and then I just keep track of all the phone numbers, all the contacts, any conversation I had with them, that kind of thing. And then so that because when I've had really good ones, I can't keep track of all the coaches and what we talked about, to be honest with you.
I've gotten to the point where, like, if you go to the C section of my phone, it says coach so-and-so, coach so-and-so, coach so-and-so. It's like coach.
Right.
So,
so that's the big thing I would do with that, is just kind of keep track of that. I'm going to do some one-on-one calls too. I got to go here in about 2 minutes. I have to go pick my daughter up. But this week I'm going to do some one-on-one calls and some more office hours. So just watch the Facebook group, and then, we can do one-on-one, or I'm going to try to get some groups. I'm even thinking of doing, because I'm going to be off for a couple of weeks. Sounds like you are too. or some people are, that I'm going to do some like, maybe let's get together and for a couple days just talk about offenses, or a couple days just talk about defenses. Like
absolutely.
Not online clinics, but kind of like that. Like, all right, let's do something like that. And so I haven't gotten my head around that yet, just because I found out 2 days ago that we were going to be off school for 3 weeks. But that's what I'm thinking. So I'll just watch the Facebook group for all that kind of stuff, and the three of us will talk. All right.
All right, sounds good, man.
All right, see you guys. Bye. Hey, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you subscribe, like, jump up and down, review, do whatever you got to do. Also, go over and check out teachhoops.com for coaches who want to get better. Have a great.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Lowe's knows you want the best for dad. This Father's Day, help him take on any project with big deals on DeWalt. Right now, get a free XR 8 amp-hour battery when you buy select DeWalt tools. That's not all. Get up to 2 free select tools when you buy a select DeWalt 20-volt max battery kit. Maximum initial battery voltage measured without a work load is 20 volts. Nominal voltage is 18.